Good evening, everyone. This is Solo Work, and I'm your host, Jenny Cousins. And thanks again for tuning in. We're live here on Shaw TV, and we will be taking calls tonight, as we normally do. And that number is 403-539-6710, Calgary. So after our commercial break, you are certainly free to give myself and my guest a call. And on tonight's show, I have Steve Berger from Manana Imports.
That's right. Yes, Manana. People get it confused sometimes. It means morning or tomorrow in Spanish. And we started out years ago carrying mostly items from South and Central America. And then over the years, we got a lot more eclectic, and we bring in things from all over.
Wow. I love your store.
Thank you.
I love your store. I've been going to it for years.
Well, thanks, Jeni.
And I thought, you got to come on. And I know you're always traveling around.
It's one of the perks of the job is I'm able to travel all over the world and meet wonderful people and collect interesting things.
Very unique things, I might say.
Thank you.
I'm drawn to really different, unique things.
Well, one of the things I've sometimes said to my daughters and other people too is in your environment, it's good to have less of better things. You know, we're kind of in a mass consumption culture where everybody has all the plastic and consumer goods that we have, but maybe it's just nice to have some beautiful, some handmade, some items that have some meaning to them, and less of them, and have that in your environment.
It's true. It's very true. My place looks like a store in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm downsizing it, mind you, but
you
know. So what have you learned from traveling?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah.
I've learned that the world is an incredibly diverse place, but human beings are human beings. When you make contact one-on-one with someone, pretty well culture overlays it, but people are people, and we have more in common than we do in differences. All over the world. I get to go to really interesting places with really interesting cultures, and I find it fascinating. But when you interact with people, it's amazing how much alike we are. Going to places like Guatemala or Nepal or Bolivia, and it's, people once you make that human contact, they're very much the same.
Because you often travel to Tibet.
Not to Tibet, to Nepal a lot.
Nepal.
I've been to Tibet once, but Tibet's a very controlled, restricted place to travel now. But I go to Nepal several times a year. And Nepal is right next to Tibet, between Tibet and India.
What's your favorite part about Nepal?
Nepal, I have a fascination with the culture. Nepal's a very mixed culture spiritually or religiously. It's got both the Buddhist tradition and the Hindu tradition, and Buddhism is very strong there. And I'm have a lot of affection, respect, and identification with Buddhism. And there's amazing ancient temples and sites that go back hundreds and hundreds of years, and a really rich, strong tradition behind that.
Have you been part of the ceremonies that they have
some
there? Ceremonies
there, some in northern India. There's an area that's sometimes called Little Tibet in northern India, Ladakh. And 2 years ago I was there for the Kala Chakra, which is a ceremony and a series of initiations with the Dalai Lama, with 7,000 monks and tens of thousands of local people, all sitting on the ground for over a week, with the mountains all around. It was amazing. It was a wonderful, wonderful situation. Wow.
That would have been like the energy there. And I bet you, just the vibration, because they were probably doing chanting.
Yeah, it was amazing. My wife actually went with me on that trip, and she's got a little bit of different perspective on things. I think she has some of the same interests, but she's not really interested in the Buddhism as much. But she was sitting on a hillside, watching it from up above and listening to the chanting and the sounds, and I think she really enjoyed that. You could hear them quite a ways away.
Oh, wow.
And that was wonderful.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Often when off in Nepal, I'm doing buying for my shop, and I don't really have that much free time. I'll go for a stroll and go through the monasteries or go through some of the religious sites. A lot of them were very, very badly destroyed by damaged by the
Yes.
earthquakes last year. Some sites not, some sites were.
Because, you know, one of the pictures, and the picture I put up today on Facebook, I don't know if you caught it or not.
I did.
Oh, of that big bowl?
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't catch that picture. I
Oh.
caught the picture you sent of me, and I was just going to mention that photograph. I was sitting on the roof of a bus, and which I found is the best way to see things when you're sitting with a Tibetan Buddhist monk on the top of a bus in Ladakh. No, I didn't see the picture of the bowl. What was that?
It was you, and I'm sure it was Nepal.
Oh, with the giant bowl.
Oh, the giant bowl, because you
Yeah.
sell that at your store.
Yeah,
Different
I'm actually waiting for a singing bowl shipment along with a lot of other things. It's been sitting in London Heathrow Airport for a few
Oh,
days.
yeah.
So it
Customs.
was supposed to be here 4 days ago, but that's part of the territory.
Yeah.
That was one of the largest singing bowls I've seen. It was probably this big across.
Yes.
And then holding it, they're quite heavy. And I was in a friend's shop in Kathmandu.
Oh, that was extraordinary. That's why I put
and
that
I did
picture
buy
up.
that bowl. I've sold it since, but it was huge.
Oh, you got to get more. And now you brought one of your
I do have a
bowls.
bunch of them. I did bring
Yes.
one.
Can you do a little sample for
I
our viewers
can.
there? Because I'm terrible at that. I know it's a twist of the hand.
There's a few tricks to it.
Yeah.
And the main thing is that people often don't use enough pressure.
Oh, okay.
So this is a Tibetan singing bowl. I don't know if you can zoom in on the center of it there. It's all hand engraved on the inside, and it's from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, but it's found throughout that region. And they're made of bell brass. It's about 80% copper, 20% tin.
And that's from Nepal?
This is from Nepal, yes.
Oh, okay.
And they have a really nice, very gentle, soft tone. Smaller ones tend to be higher pitched. The bigger ones a little bit deeper. You get the basic tone with a little tap. And firm, steady pressure. And it's all about the quality of the sound, not the volume.
Yeah.
I could make it louder or do it
Yeah.
more, but it's a very calming, gentle sound.
I
with
could
this
feel
bowl.
that. That actually might heal my stomach.
I'll do a little more then.
Exactly.
And with singing bowls, I think a big part of it is what feels right to you rather than what somebody else says is the appropriate sound or type. So I always recommend just playing with a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. Because you have to tap it first then.
You don't have to tap it first.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cheating. If you just go around without tapping, it just takes a little bit longer to come up. So it's not necessary. But one of the things with tapping it is you get the basic tone of the bowl.
Oh, so that resonates the sound then
Yeah,
when you
it gives
tap it at
if
first.
you're comparing a few bowls, or if you're using it for meditation for yourself, you can always just give it a little tap and use that as a point of concentration. If you're going around, you can't really go into a meditation.
That's very interesting.
It gives you the basic
There it goes
feel of the
again.
bowl. And a lot of bowls, you'll get different tones depending where you play it, and they'll also often have harmonics. You can play lower down or higher on the bowl. If you use a wooden stick, you'll get a higher pitch tone than you do
Okay.
with a leather covered stick.
Oh, wow.
And on slow days, it's something I'll do a lot in the store,
Yeah.
is play around with the singing bowls. I've got over 100 of them coming in the shipment that's somewhere
no.
between here and London.
Oh,
I think it's
no.
supposed to come in tomorrow, and then we'll see how it goes with customs and unpacking and all.
I should come in. Let me know
they're
when
fun.
they come in.
I think next week. Yeah.
Yeah, because that I could feel that. And it was really unique, actually. It was really calming.
I like the hand-hammered ones. This is a hand-hammered
Yeah.
bowl. There's some that you see out there that are machine-made. And machine-made bowls are fine, too. There's nothing wrong with them. But they don't tend to have the subtlety and the harmonics, the different tones. And what I often do with people, if you get a little tiny one that's a higher pitched one, and later you want to get a more expensive or a bigger one or a deeper pitched one, I'll let people trade it in, and they can just trade it in and pay the difference, and not like trading in a car without the depreciation.
Wow. That's amazing. So if somebody wanted to come see you,
Mm-hmm.
where I know where he is, but
Yeah.
where are you?
We're at 1132 Kensington Road Northwest, and that's directly across the street from the Plaza Theatre in the Hillhurst Sunnyside, Kensington area, right on Kensington Road.
Because you're beside Second Cup.
No, beside Higher Ground.
Higher
actually.
Ground,
Second
yes.
Cup is another wonderful
That's
coffee
right.
shop, but it's on 10th Street.
Yes, that's
Higher
right,
Ground, which is a great coffee shop in Kensington.
Chai
It's just a
latte.
couple. I have it often. I have too much caffeine. Days when I'm going to have something a little softer, I'll have the chai latte. Yeah, just a few doors up from it.
Excellent, excellent.
Further west.
Now that's wonderful. Now you guys got to go check out Steve's store. We're just going to cut into a commercial already.
Thank you, Jenny.
Oh, and our phone lines are going to open up after our commercial break, and that phone number, Calgary, is 403-539-6710. So give myself and Steve a call, Calgary. We'll be right back after this short message. Hang in there. Welcome back, Calgary. We are live here on Shaw TV, and this is Soul Work, and I'm your host, Jenny Cousins. And on tonight's show, I have Steve Berger from Manana Imports. Thank you,
Jenny.
Steve. And Steve has a lot of unique things at his store, Calgary, and you got to go there because it's. I love the store. I love the
Thank
store. I try not to go in unless I have money.
You can come in just for a visit.
I know.
I like
but
it to be a little museum-like. It can be just for the experience.
Oh, it's nice because all your stuff are uniquely internationally brought in, and it's so unique. Definitely. And we already have a caller, by the way. And our first caller for tonight is Joyce. Joyce, do you have a question for Steve and myself?
Yes, I do. I'm worried about my daughter.
Okay.
She is having a lot of problems right now. Pardon me?
Yeah, she's having a lot of problems right now, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's her first name?
Michelle.
Michelle. What's your main concern with her? I just feel like right now she's actually in a really, really confused state of what direction she should go is what I immediately pick up on her. But
Okay.
what's your main concern with her?
I guess one of the main concerns is the fellow she is living with. She seems to have gone quite downhill since being with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line, like, you know, with her, everybody has their own journey, of course, of, you know, who they're in a relationship with. And one of the biggest things that some people have a tendency to do is just to settle and just settle for any type of relationship, and then their self-esteem and their self-worth go down, and then they accept certain behaviors that their partner is treating them. And the only way out for that person is for that person to see it for themselves, unfortunately. Like, you know, you could talk to her about your concerns and everything like that, but the bottom line is she needs to really be ready and admit that I'm not happy and I need to leave the relationship. So I see them together for a while yet. Honestly, I do. So there's some friction going on with that. But you know, we all have life lessons to learn, unfortunately, and you know, they're not going to be together forever. But you know, there's going to be the friction in between hand, of course. So, you know, even if Michelle went into Steve's store, got some grounding done, like the bowl, you know.
Yeah, I leave those things to Jenny and her intuition, but I think with people going through difficult relationships, if you can support the positive parts of her personality, the positive parts of her that give her strength to be a stronger person, to keep her identity so that she's affected less by any negative aspect of the other person, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And things like the singing bowls, I think maybe with some people they can help you develop sort of calmer moments in your life. If you take a portion of your day where you slow down, you calm down, you center, that can give you the ability to deal with difficult things in the rest of your day more.
Yep.
And that might be something that maybe, I think it's helpful for anyone.
It is actually, and I always stress the point that everybody needs to have that alone time to hear your soul speak. You know, it's like a meditation, really.
Yeah.
You know, different ways, but she's got to be the one that wants to do something like that, unfortunately. So just surrender it and just send her, you know, like when certain people that I know, when I know they're in like a tricky situation or a bad relationship, let's say, I always ask the angels to give that person clarity for them to see the situation they're in. Because sometimes we just put that veil over our face or the rose-colored glasses where we're not seeing the clarity, and then we get stuck in that situation and we don't know where to go out. But you know, like I'll do a little prayer for her tonight, and thank you for calling in. We've already got other people on hold right now. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thanks for calling. And we have our next caller, and our next caller is Jackie. Jackie, you have a question for us. Hello.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could tell me about my future.
Well, that's a really big question. Like, do you have one concern, like one concern that you need some confirmation on or clarity on, or?
Oh, I have a wedding coming up, and I wanted to know if it's all going to be good.
You're getting married?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even just for you to ask a question like that, it does show some concern, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, when are you getting married?
This August.
This August. I mean, you'll still go ahead with your wedding plans, and you got to stay in that positive zone. But I mean, like, you know, sometimes we can get those pre-wedding jitters going on, as I call it. But you're going to know deep down in your own soul if this is the right person for you or not. I mean, I don't want to be the spoiler of a party here and say he's not, let's say, you know, because then that would bring a damper and that could change a lot of things for you, and I don't want to do that. So, you know, the bottom line is you really got to ask yourself, you know, do I really see myself with this person? Are they treating me with respect and dignity and you know, accepting me unconditionally for who I am? You know, vice versa. So, Steve, you've been married for a while?
Yeah, and we get along very well, very happy. I'm not too sure. I can say congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And I think try to develop in yourself the things that make you happier, and not try to have the other person make you the happy. Try to develop some calmness and some self-confidence, and that allows you to function better in relationship all the time with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you have to know who you are. Like, we can't run to somebody else and have that other person show us who we are. We have to know who we are and accept ourselves.
There's a lovely children's book called The Paper Bag Princess, where it's got a good lesson in there, but it's all about yourself and your self-identity, and everything's a journey and everything is changing. Mm-hmm. So if you develop a happier, more self-certainty in yourself, then everything will go better. You know, so look at yourself, look at what you can develop in yourself, and build on that. I think that's a all I can really say.
Yeah, and have and just keep on a positive, you know, level, and have faith.
Yeah,
have faith.
I've been trying to better myself just for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's something that's lifelong process with all of us. Yeah. Another person doesn't complete you; you complete you.
That's right.
And then you hopefully become more because of the two of you together. Mm-hmm. So that's my thought.
Yeah, definitely. And you can put in the registry at Steve's shop. You got to go there, seriously.
Thank you.
If you like, because there's a lot of stuff there that will help keep you balanced.
I bring in things from about 20 different countries,
Yeah.
handmade things from all over, and I try to have it a little bit museum-like, so you can just discover things and
Yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah, like these blankets here, like this. This is extraordinary. This is really nice.
That one's from Guatemala, hand-woven from Guatemala.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
a nice wedding gift.
We have the opportunity to just travel all over the world and collect wonderful things. So it's been a joy.
Yeah, so that's why when you're in your store, it's like, don't plan 5 minutes, people.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything goes wonderfully with your wedding, Jackie, and
Thank you.
Yes.
And wish you all the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Thanks.
just
Thank
hang
you
in
much.
there, go with the flow and listen to your heart, and, just speak with an open heart. And communication, number one in relationships, communication. You have to have that communication with each other, and, be honest, open acceptance, and things will be okay. So have no worries. Have no worries. And thank you for calling.
No, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, and thanks for calling in. So that phone line, Calgary, 403-539-6710. So of all the places that you have traveled to, Steve, where is your favorite place?
Oh, people ask me this all the time,
bet.
and it's a hard one.
Yeah.
Because places are favorite in different ways.
Exactly.
I love Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's a huge volcanic lake, 20-some miles across, surrounded by volcanoes with little villages named after the apostles that are populated by Mayan people that are traditional Mayan people. It's an amazing place. I probably would say Guatemala and Lake Atitlan, although I love parts of northern India. I love parts of Nepal. For a pure beauty place, another area is northern Vietnam, the Sapa area.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's rice terraces and odd sort of conical shaped mountains and hills with rice terraces coming down the sides of the hills, and water buffalo and trees and intense green. It's just beautiful.
Oh, how wonderful. So what did you bring here? Is this like a shirt,
this
or
is
it
another item here. This is called a wipile.
Oh.
And this is a piece I brought just because it's one of my favorite Guatemalan pieces. In Guatemala, every village will have its own traditional costume, and they're done on what's called a backstrap loom. It's just 6 sticks tied to a tree or a hook on the wall, and then the weaver, the woman that's weaving, will do each stitch individually as she's weaving the wipile, the women's shirt. Each village has its own design, but then every woman will modify it. So a piece like this one, this is all done on the backstrap loom, which is all hand woven, and then the collar has been all done with hand embroidery on it. And it's a complete one-of-a-kind piece.
Wow.
And they're just amazingly beautiful. So when you're in the villages there, you can tell where people are from because of the clothing they're wearing.
Okay. So what really got you started in?
Well, it's funny.
In the store, yeah.
It's funny because my wife and I were both doing jobs that we were getting a little tired of it at the time, and we both liked traveling. And Sue had been traveling in South America before that. And I had a lot of frequent flyer points. I used to work in the health food industry, and we did some flights on frequent flyer points, which were worth a lot more even back then. And we did a trip to Peru, and we brought a bunch of sweaters back, and big duffel bags of sweaters, and sold some to some friends, and opened a little tiny shop in Inglewood. It was probably only 500 square feet. It was very tiny.
Okay, what was that called?
It was also Manana.
Okay.
Originally we dreamed up the name. We were looking for a name that was familiar to people, had a nice sound to it, and represented Latin America.
Okay.
So Manana means morning or tomorrow in Spanish, and we came up with that. And then later we became a lot more eclectic, and now we bring in a lot from South and Central America, but far more from Asia, from Nepal, India, Thailand, and other places.
Wow. It's extraordinary. So when
thanks.
did you move over to Kensington? You've been there like years now.
Yeah, it's been, I guess, about 22 years or so.
Oh, really?
And we originally were in Inglewood for a short while. We had the two shops, and then we moved to Kensington.
Oh, I couldn't even see you in a little tiny store.
It was tiny.
Compared to...
The one advantage is we had a wonderful Szechuan Chinese restaurant that was right beside us, so we could have had a hole in the wall to pass food through, so we'd have great meals. But nice, tiny little shop. And then we moved a couple other times. Had 3 locations at different times in Inglewood before we moved to Kensington.
Because that place for you, because I mean, I live in Kensington, since I have for years.
Yeah.
And where you guys are, it's like, it just seems like the right type of space, the right energy. And
well, thank you. Yeah, it's on the sunny side of the street, which is always nice.
Sunny side of the street.
And in Sunnyside, Hillhurst Sunnyside. Yeah, we really enjoy being there, and it's we hope an inviting place. One of the fun things, one of the nice things about the shop is we've been around long enough now that we have people coming in with their kids that used to come in as kids.
Yeah.
So when they were young, they came in as children. Now their kids are coming in.
And that's
and
wonderful.
We're seeing the next generation.
That's wonderful, because you sell all types of items there.
We do.
From jewelry to clothing to...
Jewelry, clothing, folk art, handicrafts, sculpture, masks.
Music
CDs, some that I bring back from Nepal's, Putumayo CDs. A really wide range of things.
Yeah.
And we, gifts and accessories and fashion, and a lot of things that are from the Buddhist tradition.
Yes, and that's
from Nepal.
Yes. Now, that is extraordinary. And again, I seriously highly recommend everybody going to Steve's store. I'm already getting the wrap-up sign.
Yeah.
And you have a website as well.
Yeah, more often lately I recommend people look us up on Facebook because it's a more interactive process, and we'll post things all the time.
Yes.
So just Manana Imports, MANANA Imports, IMPORTS, all one word.
Yes.
On Facebook, or you can go to www.mananaimports.com.
Absolutely, and it was such a wonderful pleasure having you on.
Well, thank you, Jenny. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, you got to let me know on the singing bowls.
You.
And now you got this in my head, because I felt the gurgles, and it was like the really good things.
Wonderful.
I'll definitely be in there next week. And I'm your host, Jenny Cousins, everyone. We're live here on Shaw TV. All the shows are on YouTube as well. So we'll be live next Wednesday evening again on Shaw TV. Good night, everyone. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
The proceeding was a community access program. Shaw is proud to support local producers and share local voices, ideas, and opinions. For more information, please visit shawtv.ca. Opinions expressed in this programming do not necessarily reflect the views of Shaw or its employees.
Creating local TV that matters to your community. Shaw TV, your local voice.
The following is a community access program. Shaw is proud to support local producers and share